Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Good Saturday morning to all of you out there as Ed goes for something on the bookshelf. We welcome you to another episode on this steamy Saturday in July at 757 Sports Talk, powered by Cova Sports TV. And wherever you're tuning in, be it the YouTube channel, be it the Facebook, the IG, the Twitter, the X, VirginiaPreps.com, LinkedIn, and watching on our television outlets through Cox and Your View, we greet you all this morning. I was out and about at a very fancy schmancy restaurant. You were at a concert. It sounds like that was in P-Town. Am I right on that? Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you, too. I was at the Masters of the Mic 225 with Slick Rick, Doug E. Fresh. Those are the two that were on the intro.
MC I thought that was our buddy Doug Craig. That's not Doug E. Fresh?
No, it's not Doug Craig. That's Doug
Slick
E.
Rick.
Fresh.
That's not Rick Foster at Norview? Slick Rick?
No.
Okay.
No.
Those
Rick
are only Doug's
the
Ricks I know are the coaches. That's my life and my world I live in. So
no, it was a real good old school concert with Slick Rick, Dougie Fresh, MC Light, EPMD, one of your favorite groups from the past.
Who?
And Arrested Development. So
you got arrested? That's the development? Whoa. You got arrested? That's the development?
No, you're going to have to look it up. You know, they have one of the greatest songs of all time, Everyday People, which is what I am. I'm Everyday People. And they played it, but I got there just as it was kind of finishing in the crowd. And then the bad thing was the lightning cut the show short. I had to get off the stage and we all had to get out. So the show was cut short and it ruined probably a really good evening. Everybody enjoying themselves, a little bit older crowd. Had some people come up to me from past, two people, I can't remember their names right now. And a youngster from back in the day at Maury High School, really good point guard, Aaron Peter Bug Johnson, came up, saw me in the line, and we were talking. So I forget the other two people's names. One was another player went against at Indian River. He was a good friend of Willie Young, one of my former players in Norview. And then another youngster from Deep Creek High School that played against me. So it was three different people that I played against, and they all came up to say hello and see how things have been. So it was kind of neat to see some guys from the past. So good and hot. Man, you talk about
it's
hot.
It's humid out there. No doubt about that.
Drank 3 bottles of water before the show started.
That's all? Well, that's another story. But, while you were at a concert, I went to one of these Brazilian steakhouses, and I think I sent you the menu. I can't say the name of the place because they don't sponsor the show yet. And I tell you what, if they sponsor the show, we'd be good for like 12 years. Trust me. But basically, I got the all-you-can-eat portion of food with the salad bar. And let me tell you, I've never been to one of these Brazilian steak places where they just continually bring you skewers. Skewer after skewer of steak, chicken. Here's some more. Try this, and you can't even finish it on your plate, and there's more coming your way. It was a very interesting, eye-opening experience for me. And we know some eaters. We know some eaters in our lives. Let me tell you something. I don't think they could have made it.
You don't want to mention it. Is that the new place in Virginia Beach?
It is it's near Pembroke Mall. Yes. I can't say their name because they don't. Oh, and they were packed, by the way. They were packed. It was there for a family birthday that was earlier in the month, but because he doesn't live here in Virginia Beach, and my folks and my plan stuff, we worked it out a couple weeks later. Anyways, it was pretty packed. We got there at 5:00 and it was packed. So
I've not been there yet. Been to a Brazilian steakhouse.
Oh, look at this. Thank you, everybody. our buddy, the new basketball coach at Phoebus for China,
Man,
and Willie Gauze.
first,
Right on cue, Willie. You
that
were watching it all
y'all set me up on
day.
that one. Y'all set me up on that one.
Oh, we did. No, listen, we talked about it a few weeks ago. Actually, a couple weeks ago when he got hired. Congratulations, by the way. He is the new sideline boss of the Phantoms, but he waited for the perfect time. He has no idea I went to this Brazilian steakhouse Friday night. This was not planned. I promise you. You give me a Bible. And Willie, by the way, Willie's a pastor too, so he knows I would not lie before the Lord. I would not do that. But I'm so glad you brought that up because folks that don't know this, he's saying, what are you talking about? He owes a mistake. So Ed always says to his coaching counterparts, whoever this is whether he's coaching against Jack Baker or Walter Brower, Bill Cochran, legends in the game, Dwight Robinson, Kenny Harris, Willie Gauze, name the person. He always says before he plays, he shakes his hands, he does his little razzing, oh, we're no good, and then he says, hey, winner buys. If he loses the game, he's still getting a meal out of this. Well, a few years ago in the regional playoffs, before he took on Willie Gauze's Kicketan team, which, by the way, was a good team. Had then freshman DeJuan DJ Campbell, who now plays in the ACC for the Cal Golden Bears. You beat him in overtime. Extra fun. Then you lost on that, heroic game-winning shot by the late, great Ashley James in the regional semis at Scope. But you have not paid up your bet. You owe him steak. And you know what, Willie? He needs to take you to the place I went to last night because that will officially make Ed broke as a joke.
Willie, number one, congrats. You're back on the sideline where you belong. Number two, with the picture there, this is why I see why people get us too confused. When he's not a normal suit wearer in a game, back in the day I was. So I can see why people get us mixed up. Willie, the steak dinner will happen, but I cannot take you to the place he went to because he sent me the menu. I could not afford appetizers on my retirement funding. So that I can't, but I will get you to a steakhouse, a good one, not a cheap one, like he would take you to. But the Brazilian, that there was a meal in there that was $265.
Correct.
Okay. I thought they were asking you had to weigh that much to eat it.
No.
That was
you're too much. You're too much.
But Willie, I got to get you. In due respect, I never thought we would win that game. After watching film of them and what we had, I just didn't think we had.
Sandbag. You had a good team. Stop the sandbagging. This is what you do.
Willie, they were quicker than us at the guard spot, and that's what really got me because I'm thinking playoffs guards will run things. So, anyways. Willie, it will come.
All right, we have a lot to do on this particular episode of the show. We've got some special guests around the corner, interview clips too. It's all coming your way on Cova Sports TV. Do want to congratulate, shout out, you saw it on our ticker moments ago, Christopher Newport's newest Hall of Fame class, Marcus Carter, former Bruton student, going into that CNU Hall of Fame class. So kudos to him. You can always interact with us on our Cova Sports TV YouTube channel and through all the social media outlets, just like Willie did through Facebook and IG, Twitter, X. Put your comments on the screen if we can. And we always encourage you to tune in with us as it's almost that time of year for football. The one thing I do want to see, Ed, as we get ready to go to break here, is if we can get one of our television crews to go when you do finally take Willie Gauze out to eat, which I think might not be until year 2028. I mean, you need to get on the stick here. We could call it the Coach's Corner, and have you guys sit down and break bread. It'd be a neat little segment. And in fact, we could make you have to do this with every coach in the area. Then you'll really be out of funds. Or if we get a nice sponsor, we could. It'd be neat. Yeah, it'd be a neat thing to do. So anyhow, a lot coming your way here on Cova Sports TV. Again, hit that like button, the share button, and subscribe button, and stay tuned. You're watching 757 Sports Talk.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina, We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
Did you know that the minimum limits in Virginia are $30,000? $30,000 is a lot of money on an individual basis. But if you're involved in a personal injury matter, that's not enough. Here at Williams-Deloitte, we're happy to provide a consultation on the amount of coverage you have in your vehicle. It can be confusing. Not many people understand it. You know you need to have it, but do you have enough? Give us a call today at 757-547-5555 so we can help you prepare in the case of an automobile accident or any other personal injury matter that you or your family may find yourself in.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why there's CHKD Sports Medicine. Advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Bacon cheeseburger, fries, drink, and a sundae. No time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. Right now at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
All right, I'm here with Kings Forward Class of 2026 athlete DeAndre Artis Boone as he's gearing up for his senior campaign, right? Hard to believe you're getting ready to be a senior. We've watched you since you were a freshman starting for this program. What's it been like the last couple of years playing for this team, making some playoff rides, but I know you're not satisfied and still hungry.
Yes, sir. I've been here since my 8th grade year, playing JV at 8th grade, 9th grade, starting varsity, getting reps in at quarterback. Mm-hmm. And then from quarterback my sophomore year, I ended up started playing a little bit of receiver. And then sophomore year, I started quarterback from sophomore until all the way to my junior year. Mm-hmm. And then in the middle of this junior year, starting now, I had started switch over to play receiver. And, past in a few years, I've been playing corner, safety, or I was playing quarterback, both sides.
What have you learned from learning the new positions that you've had to adapt to, not just playing quarterback, but defensive back, wide receiver? What have you learned in terms of the game doing that?
I feel like it's better. It's better for It's better for an athlete who can play both sides. Like, you learn defense easily, you learn offense easily. You just know how to play the game. Just learn both sides. Basically, an athlete at quarterback.
And watching you at some of the 7-on-7s last year at Eden places, you got that competitive streak, which Coach Sherfron talked about. Being a guy on defense, strapping up, is that your best quality as a football player, or is there something else you would pinpoint as far as your best traits as a football athlete?
Yes, sir. Defense, it definitely got my heart. But route running, I feel like some of these coaches missing out on me route running. Like, film, it's going to show this year. Of course, I didn't get to play it for real last year in the middle of me playing quarterback. But playing both sides, running routes, and adding on with the defensive part, it's going to show. Sure. Yes, sir.
Now, I believe at last check, you've got, I think, 3 offers in counting so far. You've got Charlotte, Howard, and the other one being Navy. Tell us about those schools. What do you like about them so far? Have you checked any of them out? Or are you going to check them out?
Yes, sir. I have been out to Navy. I've been out to the school, actually, up in Indianapolis. It's cool. It's good. I love the coach, and I love the team. They're definitely, focused. It's a different level, for sure. And then Howard, that recently, I just got that. 2 days ago? Okay. Yes, sir. And the coach, he sound like he after it. It sound like they're after me, and that's what I like. I like to see that.
Any other schools showing interest that could be offering, and any schools that you have in mind as a dream offer, places you want to go visit here in the coming months before you make a decision?
Yes, sir. I would just like to take better opportunities, great opportunities. Like any school, where I'm going to play. It's not even all about the money. It's not all about the environment. I'm just trying to play football. So, yes, sir.
So you'd put playing time as one of the biggest priorities for you.
Yes, sir.
Last two for you, DeAndre. As far as improving in your craft, how do you go about getting better as a player to go from one of those guys that we talk about to one of the very best guys that the conversation begins with, not in the middle of?
Yes, sir. Working on and off the field. Off the field for sure. Because when we not here, we at home by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So I say we get like a couple guys from the team, or probably the team for real to come out here, get some work in. Weekends, Fridays. We work Monday through Thursday. So everybody ain't doing it like us. So I feel like we put in a lot of work.
Yeah, and lastly, Kings Forks made a run the last couple of years. Javon Ford moving on the next level, and Townsend, you and Josh Pittman and the guys coming back. You feel like you have big goals in mind in Class 5. And what's going to take that next step as a program and be in the States come December?
Stand together, coachable, player-led team, just listening. Everybody listening. Player-led team, like I said, and being coachable. Yes, sir.
You get to know on both sides of the ball. DeAndre Artis Boone from the Kings Fork Bulldogs in Suffolk. Watch out for him on Fridays, then beyond that and Saturdays. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Good chatting with the man. Good work. Yep.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And we're back here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That was DeAndre Artis Boone, quarterback for the Kings Fork Bulldogs, as we sprinkle in some athletes throughout the program. It's funny, we didn't get to a couple of the clips the last few weeks, and some of those athletes have committed here lately, like Jaden Koval from Oscar Smith to UVA and others. And we'll flash the ticker with some of the updated commitments on the list here around the 757, Ed. But it is time now for our burning topic, our 5-minute burning topic on this show. We're also going to tackle another issue as well. And by the way, you talked about last night your concert going, and then my restaurant frequenting. The weather got in the way with the storms, and we talked about last week on the show, was on our ticker about Virginia Beach United trying to qualify for the playoffs. They just missed it. Had a nice year in their games, their home games, being held at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. Well, the other local soccer team from U.S. League Two, they've made 5 straight playoff bids, 6-time COVID champs, Lionsbridge FC. They were delayed from weather, didn't get started until like around midnight, I think is what it was, when they played their game. And they ended up winning 4-0 over Salem City as they're moving on to the Eastern Conference semifinals coming up on Sunday. That game ending at 2:34 a.m. Eastern time based on their social media accounts. So how about that? Would you stay? Here's it's not even our 5-minute burning topic or the Ask Coach Young question, but would you stay for a game into the 2 or 3 a.m. portion? And if so, would it have to be a Yankee game? What would it take for you to stay past midnight into 1, 2, 3 in the morning for something? Is it because you paid for the ticket? You're that big of a diehard? What would it take for you to stay that late? Or at what point would you say, I'm out, that's enough? Sorry, not for me.
More than likely, I paid for the ticket, I'm staying.
Okay, no matter how long it takes.
Well, I won't say no matter how long it takes. And if it's
this is not impacted by if you have a companion who says I'm out. How about that? Does that impact the situation at all?
Well, if she says I don't want to stay any longer, we're probably going to go.
You're going, okay.
We're probably going to go. If it's a Yankee Raider game, and probably I want to say any NBA game.
Really?
Yeah, I probably would stay because the opportunity to go to them doesn't happen much, and those tickets aren't not really cheap. So I'm probably going to try to weather it out, so to speak, till the end. Now, a lot depends on also, do I have something planned the next day that's going to definitely have to get done, or is it sleep in a little bit and I'll just have to sleep in longer? That's all. That can affect it too.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, let's get to the 5-minute burning topic, and we'll set the timer, and here we go with it. All right, Edward, the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, it was a 6-0 lead for the National League. American League came back thanks to some heroics from a few different guys, including Stephen Kwan of the Guardians. And then in the swing-off in extras, the NL, thanks to Kyle Schwarber of Philadelphia, they take the W. Do you like the current MLB All-Star Game format? This moves you more than it moves me. I could take it or leave it. I think almost all All-Star games at this point are pointless. The Pro Bowl is definitely a waste of time. Hockey's is somewhat decent. Basketball's has become a joke. And this baseball one, I mean, it's all really fell apart for baseball. Let's just be perfectly honest here. It all fell apart for baseball when they had the tie in 2002 in Milwaukee, and Commissioner Selig was getting booed unmercifully, and that was the end of the All-Star game to me, having its weight. And then they decided to put the home field advantage in the World Series on the line for the All-Star game, which in some ways would make sense, except why are we going to let a guy from possibly a last place team who's a great all-star decide who has home field between the Yankees and the Dodgers, or fill in the blank, NL champ, AL champ? So you take it. To me, it's just like meh. I didn't watch. Honest to goodness. Again, where's Willie with the Bible? I did not watch the home run derby. It did, and look, the ratings were down for it this year. They were down for it. I think people are less. You need a break. Baseball is every day, 162, and I don't kill or fault the guys wanting a break.
The game was good. I didn't know they adopted the swing off. Didn't know. So when it was happening, I did watch it all. I'm thinking, okay, supposedly the managers picked their three before the game, because it looked like Aaron Boone was picking, hey, I got three guys that want to hit. I need three guys.
No, those guys left the park is what happened. That's the truth.
Well, okay, this is what I'm getting to. My first reaction was, where is Ohtani and Judge? Why didn't he pick one of them? Unless they didn't want to do it. Well, neither guy was in the dugout. They were long gone, which happens in all-star past history too. More modern day. Guys, after they're taken out, get permission to leave, get with their families, because it is the all-star break, and now they don't have as much break as everybody else. So they weren't there. So I'm like, okay, I'm not for making them stay. So I get it. Then there was the talk of you don't want somebody swinging hard who's been sitting for the longest time and put them in with a potential injury. That was talked about. So they designate three guys before the game. Here we go. At first, I'm like, okay, I get it. But then when I heard Schwarber got the MVP, did not get a hit in the game, but yet hit 3 homers off a coach acting as a batting practice pitcher. The traditionalist I am said, it's going to take me a while to get used to this, because he shouldn't have got the MVP. If you're going to do that, and I'm not going to fight against it, don't give the MVP to one of those guys. Give it to somebody in the actual game. I'm with you. The All-Star games, because the players don't take them as serious anymore. Because back in the day, these All-Star games were serious. Pete Rose crashing into Ray Fosse in baseball. Guys getting a little chippy in the football game, actually ready to throw punches, because they were going against the best. Nowadays, it's everybody knows everybody. It's not as big. It's an exhibition game. Football, hey, I'm not hurting myself for a meaningless game when I've got when I've got next season. Baseball, basketball, hockey, they play right in the middle of the season. So they risk injury for the rest of the season. So my thing is this: you put the ghost runner in the regular games. So why not put the ghost runner in over extra innings? Now I do understand.
Get rid of it.
They run out of pitchers. They run out of pitchers. They run out of players. Okay, how about this revolutionary idea? A guy that you played earlier in the game, if he's still there and he's still willing, put him back in the game.
Bob Ryan said it best about the ghost runner. You know what I think about that? That's what I think about the ghost runner.
Well, in regular season, I don't like the
5 minutes are up. It means you got to shut up about this topic. And as we shut up about that topic, Howard Davis. Oh, Mr. Davis, one of the referees, got back from the Vegas Summer League, spent 8 days in Vegas. 100. Ooh, that's hot out there. Out there.
Howard, were you refereeing or were you losing money, or both?
How about that? And you know what? This will be another future topic. And I know my pops is into it. He calls me up, Cooper Flag, you watching tonight? I can't get into NBA. I can't get into Summer League basketball. I'm sorry. I know the mothership is showing it I can't get into it. I can't get into it. It's like exhibition preseason football, which, by the way, end of the month, Hall of Fame game. People are going to be so into it. The Hall of Fame game, preseason football. Scrimmages are coming up next month in high school. People love that. I can't get into Summer League basketball. I just can't. It doesn't do it for me. All-Star game doesn't do it for me. Home Run Derby. It's not as bad as the dunk contest, but because at least you have some names that are in the league. Sorry, I know Matt McClung's from VA, Gate City's finest. Not in the league. He's a G League guy. But I don't get into it. Don't get into it like I used to, at least growing up. Just supporting the local up-and-coming referees. Good to hear. We appreciate Howard tuning into the show. We've got more coming your way on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned. Interact with us. More to come.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
Cova Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit covapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Now, for a limited time on the $7 Meal Deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
The question here is, Matt walking the dog or the dog walking Matt? In any event, while Reese smells the tree, let's go back to 757 Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young, America's favorite dog walker on Cova Sports TV.
Is that true? You're America's favorite dog walker?
I don't know about that, but I do know when I walk mine, he walks me. I got a jog to catch up.
Okay. Well, we have to hit on, we love highlighting our local guys. In fact, some of them come back home. I know Dorian Finney-Smith of IC Norcom does fantastic stuff coming back home. Jalen Holmes has been back in the area. NFL defensive lineman for the Washington Commanders from Lake Taylor High School. Finney-Smith, by the way, a new NBA team with the Houston Rockets. He's been kind of well-traveled lately from the Dallas Mavericks to the Brooklyn Nets to the Los Angeles Lakers. A youngster from Chesapeake who also had an event here recently in the Chesapeake, Cam Thomas, played his first year of high school ball at Oscar Smith, and they did not play his sophomore year. Some differences with coaches and his family and him. Went to Oak Hill Academy, started with the Boo Williams travel program, has made a nice mark in the NBA as a professional scorer and a very good one. Has gotten caught up in a little bit of social media. I don't know if firestorm is the right phrase or wording, Ed, but we'll put it up on the screen as he got into it with NBA analyst Zach Lowe of The Ringer. And I don't even know if it's into it. He didn't like Zach's comments, I believe, on a recent podcast show. And it spawned, or I guess it prompted, one Cam Thomas to give his thoughts on what Zach had to say. And the consensus on Cam Thomas, if there is one, and he's got some fans and he's got some mega detractors, but the consensus is kind of like empty calories ball hog is what Zach said. And turns out Cam took to social to say the consensus, F you and the consensus, Zach Lowe. This is most likely the same consensus teams who can't guard me and send double teams from jump ball. Why are we double teaming a guy who's not that good? Make it make sense, please. Your reaction to that, Ed, as I'm sure you didn't love to see it or read it. I didn't either. I know the 757 is going to root for Cam, as they should and continue to. But he's also in position to possibly get some more dough his way. And this narrative that's out there about maybe not impacting winning, if you will, and scoring because he takes a high volume of shots is probably not one that he loves. Now, got an extended qualifying offer, $5.99 million, but apparently no hurry to add to that. We'll see what happens. So there's a contract situation down the line. And then he went on to say last time speaking on some blank, empty calories, and went on a little bit more from there. So your reaction to that, because it's now gotten a lot of attention on the internet.
Yeah, I hate to see that attention for Cam. He's usually a quiet dude. I don't know him personally.
Right.
Played against him, coached against him his freshman year. And I'm not mistaken, he dropped 30 on us. Heck of a shooter. One heck of a shooter. Which he's been his mark throughout his career. The back and forth with Zach Lowe could be something else to it. Zach Lowe is wrong for calling him ball hog. You could say he dominates the ball. He's a high volume shooter. We'll get it. But ball hog is not necessary. And then the back with the FU back to Zach, puts Cam in a bad light. He got under Cam's skin and Cam showed it. So now here we got the back and forth. Not a good look. And, Cam's got to just understand sometimes reporters, for whatever reason, if they can get under your skin, maybe they will. I'm not sure why they do it. I've known some to do it. There have been a few I'm not a pro, but in my high school career, I got under my skin too. But
no, that didn't happen to you.
Oh, yeah. Early in my career, it did. But, yeah, it's not a good look. And
now he's a restricted free agent, but is not yet re-signed with Brooklyn. And he did have a career high in assists, just a shade under 4 per game. So your point of maybe not a ball hog is fair. I do think two wrongs don't make a right here. I think you're right. I think Zach might have been wrong to an extent. Cam might be more wrong. It doesn't matter who's more wrong and what your opinion of it is. This isn't this is not a great look for Cam. And I will pose it out there in the etho. I hate to say this, but does he impact winning? And I think the big question is going to be, if you're not a leading guy on a winning team, can he be a complementary guy on a good team down the road? I know he wants to score more, or score a high level, not more. Those are questions that I think are fair, and Cam has to understand the criticism at the highest of levels is going to be there, and silence the critics. Just go out there with your play. I know that's easy for me to sit here as a talking head and say, but he obviously is one of the best scorers, bar none. There's no denying that. But it was unfortunate to read it, because I actually had someone send it to me yesterday. This is honest to God truth, Ed. And they said, do you think that's really him, or has he been hacked? That's never good when that is posed, because I'm sure there are people in NBA front offices asking that same thing. Is this him flying off the handle, or is this not really him as far as the account goes?
It's a good point. Point.
Yeah. All right, we've got more coming your way here on 757 Sports Talk. Keep it tuned. You're watching Cova Sports TV.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk.
Usually it's Hatfield. That's why I try to tell everybody, get on Hatfield. He is the legal scribe, the talking head that knows all this, puts the whammies on. We do things different on this podcast. That's why we're rated number 3 in the state.
You got Play-Doh? Get out of here! We've got people all over the globe watching with us. Sitting in a phone booth with you would be very...
we got to have your own phone booth. I'm not sitting in no phone booth with you.
It is 757 Saturday Sports Talk here on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe.
Did you know that the minimum limits in Virginia are $30,000? $30,000 is a lot of money on an individual basis. But if you're involved in a personal injury matter, that's not enough. Here at Williams-Deloitte, we're happy to provide a consultation on the amount of coverage you have in your vehicle. It can be confusing. Not many people understand it. You know you need to have it, but do you have enough? Give us a call today at 757-547-5555 so we can help you prepare in the case of an automobile accident or any other personal injury matter that you or your family may find yourself in.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us, and the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
It's summertime and everybody's trying to lose weight. So, what's the easiest way to burn 1,000 calories? You got the answer? You Tecumseh, you got the answer? Leave the pizza in the oven. That'll burn 1,000 calories.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here is Matt Hatfield.
And welcome you back to 757 Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to Cova Sports TV on YouTube. Matt Hatfield here with you, and we have a special guest with us as my cohort just got called to an emergency. Hope he'll be back during the segment, Coach, but we shall see. We have the new head football coach of the Grassfield Grizzlies with us. He is Mike Biehl. He's got 757 roots, most recently coached at Nansman Suffolk Academy, and back in his day was a heck of a quarterback. We say good morning to you, sir, and I see you got the Eagles throw behind you, so you got to celebrate a Super Bowl this year, huh?
It's been a solid year for an Eagles fan, so I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, Matt. Proud to be here, man.
Yeah, our pleasure. Now, let me ask you about that real quick, because I see now you're an Eagles fan, so I'm going to stick on this for about a minute and a half.
Hey, that's great.
Which Super Bowl was more satisfying, this year's against Patty Mahomes and KC, or the one against Tom Brady and New England? And I know you've had some losses in championship games, playoff games, Super Bowls as well, but which win was more satisfying before we get to which loss was more agonizing?
Man, I think the most recent one is the one that you always hold on to in the moment, but I think that group to have the injuries that they did really up and down the roster, both sides of the ball, for them to be able to go in there and beat Tom Brady the way they did and do it in kind of unbelievable fashion with Nick Foles playing the absolute game of his life. That was pretty special. That first one, I think Eagles fans everywhere would say that was the one. But hey man, what this team was, I don't think we've seen a better Eagles team in the last 2-3 decades, top to bottom roster wise. They're both awesome. That first one though, I think every Eagles fan would tell you, and that ball was in the air on the last play of the game, we were holding our breath because it doesn't happen for us. So it was great. It was great.
Yeah, and it's funny, I had a local guy from the 757, and Josh Sweat is now with my Cardinals, who was a big factor on defense. Josh, of course, from Oscar Smith. But I tell you what, y'all talk about sweating things out. That game with the Rams in the second round of playoffs was really a sweat, wasn't it?
I mean, that could have went either way. And going into that one, I think Eagles fans, and including the team, would say, man, if they were going to give us our best shot, they were going to get the best out of us because of what they could do offensively. But that was one, and our defense had to keep making stops, keep making plays. Even that last sack by Jalen, like, we have a bust. We have a bust in coverage. There's a wide open guy down the seam, and if we don't get a sack, like, that game's a little different. So, yeah, craziness. But Eagles fans, we're kind of always cynical. We're always waiting for the floor to drop out a little bit. So,
Sure.
I'm just glad they made enough plays to get it done. It was awesome.
Okay, so final one on that is stuff coaches say, chimes in 757 late. We got one here who's got records. You'll see it across our ticker here in a second about what Mike Biehl has done on the gridiron. We'll talk about that and also what's in store for his new position with the Grassfield Grizzlies. But so which was the most agonizing? Was it the Panthers, the Rams? There's always a loss that's –
Nah, it's Buccaneers. Buccaneers, NFC Championship, Rondé going the other way. Like I can put myself in that moment and like the lump in the throat, the devastation in the stomach. That was just like we thought Donovan was going to take it all the way and finish the drive, and man, that was crushing. That was a rough one.
Now, last week on the show, we were joined by a special guest who's also a new head football coach, Glenwood Farabee of Tallwood, who was a guy that's, he slung the football around like you
absolutely.
did. So we threw this question to him. Take a look.
Oh,
Hey, and before we let you run, I got to get this to you, too. Next week, we've got on Mike Biehl, the new football coach at Grassfield, coming on. Like you, he put up some numbers back in his day in the beach playing for Chris Beatty at Salem. Who throws a football further nowadays, you or him?
I probably had to warm up get about 50 throws in to be able to get the rust off this arm. So he'll probably get me in the first couple.
Okay. That's what he said. Do you concur? Do you have a retort? What's the –
So Matt, I'm gonna be honest. I did my homework. I listened to that interview. And that made me laugh really loud. And this is what I'll say. I think if we had to throw right now, I think I might be able to get him. But if you lined us up side by side at our prime, I think Coach Farabee get me. That's a big, strong man that could really spin it. He was unbelievable back in his day. So I think he was accurate. But when it counted the most, I think he got me by a couple yards for sure.
Well, we'll have to set it up in the future. I know the schedule might not allow it, but do it. And they're in Class 5 Region A. You're in Class 6 Region A. Do a game or a scrimmage or something of the effect where you guys can just have a 50 from the 50-yard line, see who can go further. We'll measure it. How about that?
I love it, and I love where your head's at because that was one of the first guys I reached out to when I knew he got the job, and we were still kind of putting different things together scrimmage wise. That's somebody who I would love to work with in the future in terms of, man, let's get some extra work. Let's do some 7-on-7. Would love to scrimmage those guys because I know what he's going to bring to the table. That program, John did a great job and he's going to elevate it with all the things that he does. But yeah, I foresee us getting some work in the future because we both want the same things for our guys. Just get great work, put them in the best position to win. And that's what he's all about.
Sure. Now, also, as it scrolled across your ticker moments ago, you did play for Chris Beatty, now the wide receivers coach for the NFL's Las Vegas Raiders, and you were his quarterback back at Salem High School when you set then a VHSL record, 30,519 yards. It's since been broken. There's obviously guys that's like video game numbers, like these NFL quarterbacks. The Joe Montanas don't have the records that now the guys like the Aaron Rodgerses and the Matthew Staffords have, and it goes down the same level with the high school kids. If it's some quarterback from Northern Virginia or some quarterback from Oscar Smith, Lake Braddock, anywhere, Richmond, Manchester. So for you, being a former quarterback, what are some of the things that you learned from Coach Beatty growing up and as you went through your journey playing the game and you've now used in your situations, be it before you got to Grassfield as an assistant, both at Tallwood, Kellum, and then as a head coach at Nance Pacific Academy now in your situation?
Yeah, so I tell people all the time, this coaching fraternity is exactly what it is. And I was incredibly lucky for Coach Beatty to come in when he did. I was going into my senior year, but what was really unique between us and our relationship is he knew right away that I wanted to get into coaching whenever I was done playing. And the little nuggets he would give me here and there, and especially the further we went on to that season and in the off season, I use every single day. But the one that kind of encompasses everything is right before I went to school, he kind of brought me over and said, hey man, you're going to coach at some point. Just pay attention to the coaches that you're around and understand that the older you get, the harder it is to realize what it was like to be a player. And he's like, man, you're going to have years and years into this deal. And you're going to start young and you're going to make a great connection with kids because you're close to their age. But as you go, a lot of coaches say, man, these kids are just different. Back when I played or back when I first started coaching, it was this way. And the reality is this: times change, but kids don't. And kids now, obviously, they have a lot more going on, a lot more at their disposal information wise, but they're still kids. They're making the same dumb jokes we made 20 years ago. Their thoughts are pretty similar. It's so important to remember what it was like to be in their shoes. And that's something that I've taken with me everywhere, because it is, the older you get, it is a little bit harder to reflect back, but you got to constantly go back to say, man, if I was sitting in their shoes, how would I receive this? And that's something huge he gave me. But above everything else, man, Coach Beatty was just all about being the best version of yourself every time you're out there, whether it's in the classroom, the field, practice, game, whatever the case may be. So, man, that relationship has been invaluable. We're still close. We were talking the other day, and he's an unbelievable person. Obviously, his coaching acumen speaks for itself, but I can honestly say I wouldn't be here without Coach Beatty. That's for sure.
Yeah, that memorable run to a state title for Lansdowne a little bit more than 20 years ago, and you had some nice teams there when you played at Salem. We're joined by the new head football coach of the Grassfield Grizzlies. That is Mike Biehl here on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. Grizzlies open up their season coming up on Friday, August 29th at the Church and Truckers. Their home opener Friday, September the 5th against Woodside. You'll see that full schedule scrolling across our ticker in a moment. So let me channel my inner Ed Young here, since he's not here to ask you this question, Mike, so let me do my voice here. Hey, now, Mike, I got to know it. What changed you from private school, Nansman Suffolk Academy, did a heck of a job there, to public school, Grassfield? What drew you there? That's a question you would ask, so let me do it for him.
That's a great impersonation, too, and a great question. Love my time at NSA, 9 years, made lifelong relationships with the players and the people of that community. And for me, I'm so grateful that they gave me the opportunity to allow myself to kind of build that experience in that role. And to me, Grassfield's always been a program kind of similar to what Glenwood said on the program last week in terms of coaches talk. We pay attention. We look to see what schools are doing what with what they have to do it with. And Grassfield's always been a school that I've looked at from afar and said, man, that is a sleeping giant. They have everything they need to go be successful. And I believe that. But it's also, 20 minutes away from my house versus the 40, 45 minutes that I was taking to Nansman Suffolk. And, to me, my kids are 6 and 9. My wife is unbelievably supportive, and they know what it takes to do the job the right way. And it takes a lot of time. Being a little bit closer, I can integrate them into a lot more of what I'm doing. And that's kind of how I envision doing this job is, everybody says this is a family, this is a family. Well, they got to see that. And it has to be true. And now I'm in a position where I can really involve them. And our players can see that this is a family. Like, it's a full investment from everybody involved with my family, our coaches, and obviously them. So that was the really attractive thing to me. But also, from a competitive standpoint, it's the highest classification of football in Virginia. Any competitor is going to want to play or coach or compete at the highest level. And that's no different for us as coaches or me, individually. So that was something that was really exciting to me. But the support, the community, it speaks for itself. And I'm just excited to be there for the opportunity.
Yeah, Oscar Smith coming off a state championship in your district. Kings Fork, Nansman River, Western Branch, Indian River all have recent state playoff appearances as well. So it is a gauntlet there in the SED, the Southeastern District. Let's dive in on some of the guys we should watch out for the Grizzlies this year. You can start with the offense and flip it over to defense. I know there's a bunch of new faces. You're a new face to them, sure, but certainly some players will be making some noise throughout the year and beyond.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I feel like we have a lot of players that are a little younger and really are poised to make a name for themselves, whether it be their first, high volume action on varsity or they're switching roles or whatever the case may be. But offensively, I think everybody would say it starts with the quarterback and what you can do with him and how he can navigate your offense. And we're really lucky to have a good one in Colin Sparrow. He's a rising junior. He was their JV quarterback last year and backup. And he does everything the right way. He's progressed a ton over the last 2.5, 3 months that we've been at it. And I just think he's got the right mental makeup along with the physical tools to really do some things that can put us in a great position to make plays. But I'm looking forward to seeing him when things get live. But man, our skill positions, again, similar. I feel like we have a bunch of guys that are poised to have really big years because of what they can do physically, but also what they're bringing in to the table mentally every day working. I think a guy, you noticed over at Kellum was Avier Burgess, and he's a 6'2", 206, 207-pound wide receiver that's versatile. We can line him up outside. We can motion him into the slot, and he's going to be a matchup problem. But there's a ton of them. Colin's older brother, Mikey Sparrow, he's a slot guy that I think is going to do really, really well for us. And the other slot, Zion, is a guy that he can do so many things in space. Again, versatile, smart, physically tough. We got a young guy, Elijah Cherry, that's going to get quite a bit of reps and touches that I think when things get going. We got another kid, Robert Buttery, who's been doing a couple different things for us in the backfield, but also can run routes. I mean, we have a lot of guys that are just really ready to get out there and show people what they're about. And then, on the defensive side of the ball, I think, obviously you start from the front end, and we have a lot of competition to see who is going to be in that front four. And luckily, as opposed to private school, we have a lot of bodies to create competition. That's a big difference between where I'm at now versus NSA. You develop, you don't have your roster set in stone depth chart wise, but you kind of have a pretty good idea of who's going to fit where, because it's so smaller. Here, man, that front four on defense is going to be a battle to get on the field, and that's what we want. We want to be able to rotate guys in and throw as many fresh bodies at people as we can, and we have a lot of guys that can get that done. But the second and third levels, I think that's where the most of our experience is. At linebacker, we have a bunch of different combinations that we can use. Like I said, we've got at Mike Backer, Micah Bougie, who's coming off injury, but he's manned the middle for us quite a bit. Like I said, Zion can flip to that role on defense. Buttery also can go outside on outside linebacker. We got another rising junior, JC, who can do a bunch of different things at the second and third level. But then on that back end, I'm really excited about them. Antonio Johnson playing corner. He could also play some safety with his length. Noah Bowling is a guy that kind of directs the defensive backfield back there and has done a great job. And then, again, we have a bunch of guys that are kind of vying for time at that other corner spot or that nickel corner spot. And like I said, competition is the best thing to bring out of your roster in terms of building your depth chart, and we have that in a lot of spots.
Get you out on this, and we thank you so much for coming on the program. I know this will not be the last time we'll get you on, I'm sure, as we move it along into the season and beyond. You know this as an Eagles fan, pass rush is where it's at. I mean, Jalen Carter, Joshua, we talked about it, having that front, and Grassfield's had some big-name guys, not just Grant Holloway, who's a gold medalist, but you think of, in addition to him, coach Patrick Jones, who now plays the Carolina Panthers, had 7 sacks this season with the Minnesota Vikings. How much is it? We know lineman's always a tricky thing to build that depth, but as you go into the preseason here, your scrimmages, and get ready for game one, how much is it having fewer two-way guys and having fewer two-way linemen? It's going to be key as you try to build this thing year one. What's going to kind of determine how quickly you can have success in your eyes?
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more in terms of, hey man, if you want to have quick success or really sudden success, it's about what you can do with those guys up front. And just like you said, it's about, really trying to limit the number of guys going both ways. Some guys, they naturally do it, have done it their whole life. And then, you kind of look at that offensive line. I don't necessarily want my center playing 30 and 40 snaps on defense with the role that he has. So it's funny, we're at this stage, in the season and in our guys' development where coaches are kind of vying for guys now. Like, he could be a guard. He could just be a guard, not a defensive tackle. And that's really what camp's about. Like you said, that's what the scrimmages are about, to see who gives us the best 11 on the field on that side of the ball. And are they capable of giving us anything on the other side? If the upside drops to what they're doing at the highest level, then we got to make the best decision for us and the kid. And that's really where we're at now. But I completely agree with what you said. And that's something that, in private school football, you just kind of have to live with who can handle going both ways up front and try to limit it as much as you can. Here, I think we have the ability to develop both sides and make sure we're putting guys in the best position to just be fresh and be at their best at all times. So it's going to be interesting. But again, we've got a lot of guys that can roll, that are trying to get on the field, that I think are going to let people know who they are really, really early in this season. I'm looking forward to it.
Should be a lot of fun as they visit the Church on Truckers August 29th and the home opener against Woodside on Friday, September the 5th. Mike Biehl, the new head football coach of the Grassfield Grizzlies, our guest. Thank you so much. Before we let you run, we have one more from one of your coaching counterparts out there. Coach, will you be focusing on your role as a play caller on offense where you're an elite 7.57 quarterback, or using your defensive play calling prowess? Oh, my.
So the funny thing is, that's Coach Wayne Lance. He's an elite play caller himself, who's done it at a high level for a really long time. So I appreciate the question. I have a luxury of having really, really two great coordinators in terms of David Devers on offense. He's been with me for 8 years at NSA. And then we have George Harris coming in as a defensive coordinator who brings, decades of knowledge to the defensive side of the ball. So it gives me a chance to really, focus on the details of what we're doing to build our culture on a daily basis, but also be able to coach the quarterback, be able to be in his ear, but also be able to kind of oversee the whole thing. And that's really what I wanted to build in terms of a coaching staff. And I feel really lucky to have guys that I can count on. They're organized, they understand what we're trying to do, and it frees me up to kind of go where I need to go, but also focus. I mean, that quarterback spot's really important. So I can really put a lot of eggs into that basket while doing all the things you need to do to make sure everything's going the right way. So great question from Wayne. He said he was going to ask one, so I'm not surprised. But I'm trying to follow in his footsteps. He's got some championships in his trophy case and done it at a high level. So,
well, listen, now that you don't have to play him anymore. Yeah, now that you don't have to play him anymore, you can just, when you have a bye week, sit up in the stands and start heckling him. Whenever the Seahawks at the Sportsplex, whatever, just heckle the heck out of him.
Well, the funny thing is, he lives right around the corner from me, literally. Okay. Like, he's a block away. And I tell you, man, he does it the right way. He's a guy that I can reach out to at any point, whether I was at NSA or now that I'm here, and he gets it. We're trying to help each other out and be the best we both can be. So he's a good guy to bounce some ideas off of.
He is, and he is rooting for you. Well, thank you so much. We're pulling for you as well. Looking forward to what's in store, because I've said it on publicly. I think Grassfield is one of the most enjoyable environments and atmospheres for a Friday night game, especially when that place is packed and the winds are coming. And I'm sure they will be coming for you sooner than later. Thank you so much, my friend, and all the best. Enjoy the rest of your summer, and I'm sure we'll talk to you down the road.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Happy to be here. Appreciate it.
You bet. That's Mike Biehl, head football coach of the Grassfield Grizzlies, with us here on 757 Sports Talk. More coming your way. Don't touch that dial. Stay tuned. Hit the like button, the share button, and most importantly, subscribe button. You're watching 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV.
Nice.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
Cova Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit covapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Now, for a limited time on the $7 Meal Deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
What does happiness mean to you?
Being in the ocean with you, watching you catch super fun waves.
In Virginia Beach, happiness is breaking barriers and savoring the sunshine.
I couldn't pick a better place or a better person to be with. This is what makes me happy.
Happiness is going all out.
And taking it all in.
Here, happiness is whatever you make it. Find yours in Virginia Beach.
I grew up here. I know this town. I know the people here. More important, they know me. As a banker at Town Bank, we become part of the communities we serve. The people who bank with us, our members, know us. When you bank with Town Bank, you'll know your banker. You'll know you can reach us, and you'll know we're here for you.
James Catato tells us tonight there's a new team making new noise in the USL2 scene on the other side of the water.
Something special is brewing inside the walls of the Virginia Beach Sportsplex.
We're not here for moral victories. When we're on our day, we're a legit team.
See the stars of the future in pre-professional action at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. This combined season ticket special is for men's and women's. That's 15 games for just $100 for adults and $80 for youth. VBU has a brand new women's team that competes in the W League. Soccer fans, it's time to rally behind Virginia Beach United. Tickets are on sale now. Visit vbunited.com. Don't miss out on Virginia Beach United.
All right, I'm here with Denby class of 2027 quarterback and multi-sport athlete Kevin Parker as he's gearing up for his junior campaign on the gridiron and then the hardwood. Kevin, it's been a busy off-season for you. There's really no off-season because you go straight from the end of basketball into football training, AAU hoops.
Yes,
How's
sir.
life treating you as you get ready for your junior year?
It's doing good. I'm just doing a lot of working out, trying to stay consistent in this football stuff, trying to get better accuracy and just team bonding with my team right now so we can have a good season this year.
Sure, there's a lot of noise about Denby. Certainly we know about the tragic passing of your former coach, Tommy Riemann. Rest in peace to him. You got a new coach in Ray Malone coming in. But last year in basketball, you made some noise, turned things around, took Woodside to overtime. Tell me about how that kind of the turnaround in hoops has got you optimistic about things getting turned around in football as well.
Oh, it's just a whole culture thing in Denby sports right now. Everything's just changing right now. So that's what a lot of staff in Denby is talking about, just changing the culture.
Sure. Now, recruiting's blown up for you, too. That's got to be rather exciting, and you got to be pumped up for that. You're up to 13 offers and counting as we speak today with,
Yes,
I think,
sir.
Campbell and Syracuse the latest. Tell me about when you got the first one and what's your thought process with all these offers coming in. It's got to be gratifying, right?
When I got the first one from Coach Zion at Duke University, I was happy. He told me just don't forget about him because he the one that put me out there first, and I appreciate Coach Zion for that. But my recruitment been going very well.
Sure. Now, of the 13 offers, it's too early to probably give you a favorite or top 5 list. However, growing up as a kid, have you had a couple of favorite schools, be it for football or basketball? We'll talk a little bit about hoops as well.
Currently, for my offers, I put my top 5 is Liberty, UNC, Virginia Tech, ECU, and I'm still deciding on the 5th one for my offers right
sure.
now. So.
How about when you watch TV? Are there any schools or be it for football or hoops that you've liked? I'm digging them because of uniforms, or digging them because they got this player or this tradition or whatever it might be.
For football, I love watching LSU and Ohio State. They throw the ball a lot.
Okay.
So I just like to see quarterbacks make good passes stuff.
Good deal.
And for basketball, I'll be watching Rutgers, Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper. They be snapping.
Yeah, going to be some lottery picks coming up. Now, for you, you get that power struggle of is he going to be a hooper or a footballer or maybe a little bit of both? Which do you like more, and kind of which is easier, which is harder for you?
I say football harder because I'm playing one of the hardest positions in the game, but I love football more.
Okay. How about for quarterbacks, being such a hard position? Who are the guys you talk to and look up to as far as studying what they do and trying to implement in your own game?
Michael Vick. I've been talking to Michael Vick lately. Actually, I seen him at the funeral. We was talking.
Okay. Good deal for you. What is kind of your best trait as an athlete and as a quarterback? What do you think kind of your attributes that set you apart and make you so coveted?
Me being daily on my feet, so the defense got to stay on their toes for me to run and a threat with my arm.
How does football help you for basketball, and how's hoops help you for football?
I say hoops help me with like my juke moves and stuff and IQ, because in basketball you got to fit a lot of passes in some tight spots, and for football I say physicality on basketball on the basketball court.
Okay. What are you improving on in your craft, be it on the gridiron or on the basketball court? What are the things you're trying to sharpen up on as you get ready for your junior year to take your game to another level in each sport?
I'll say for football, better accuracy and passes on time. And basketball, my jump shot. I got to work on my jump shot.
Okay. Now, you've gotten some offers. I'm sure more are going to come here as you get close to that 20 number and counting. You mentioned LSU was a school you loved growing up. Any other couple of schools that you hope to get offers from or dream offers for you potentially, or places you want to go check out?
My dream offer. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're good.
My dream offer is Michigan. I love Michigan. That's my favorite team. But I like to get Michigan, LSU, Ole Miss and UCLA.
Okay. Is it too early for you on the visit front? Have you gone to any schools and you plan to check out some schools in the coming months?
I've been to a couple schools lately. I've been at Liberty, ECU, UNC. I'm about to go to Virginia Tech soon.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was supposed to go to some other places, but something had happened with my parents. Not my parents, with my dad.
Okay.
And it slowed us down on some recruiting.
Good deal. Last two for the lecture run. We thank you for the time here.
Thank you.
Tell me, for this coming year, what are the things you're working on to try to take Denby to another level? Because in the PD, we hear about Phoebus, rightfully so. We hear about Warwick, rightfully so. Feels like you guys can make some noise and do a few things. What do you have to do to make some noise?
We just got to come to practice and work so we can get better as a team. Because right now, you got some players missing, and that's killing us right now. So once we get everybody on the field and work every day, it's going to be a different story when we come to the PD games.
There you go. Lastly, when someone comes out to check out Kevin Parker and his Patriots, be it in football or basketball this coming year, what do you hope they walk away seeing from you and your team? What do you hope they walk away from the gym or the field saying, all right, I saw him do that? What do you hope they see?
What they expected to come to see, a show.
Okay.
And I say for the team, they're going to see a lot of team chemistry, a lot of talking on the field and on the court, and just grit.
There you go.
Got grit.
Grit. That's Kevin Parker, class of 2027, Denby High School, Newport News. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And welcome back to 757 Sports Talk. So you heard from Kevin Parker, the quarterback, the trigger man from the Denby Patriots, who gave you his early top five, telling us that it's really a top four of Liberty, North Carolina, Virginia Tech, and East Carolina, but had some dream schools he'd love to get offers from, Michigan, LSU, Clemson, among some of those, and he is one of the better quarterbacks in the 757. It's a rich class of 2027 quarterback crop in the 757. We want to know from all of you out there, who is the best of the best as far as which quarterback is the best one? Who is the best quarterback in the 757? Let us know what you think. Chime in on our Kova Sports TV page. There's obviously a great history of quarterbacks in the area when you think of names like Ronald Curry and Michael Vick, who he mentioned, now the head football coach at Norfolk State University. Behold the green and gold. And you think of just a list of guys, the Aaron Brookses, the E.J. Manuels, the Tyrod Taylors, the Taj Boyds. We can just go on and on and on. Aaron Sparrow. Who is the best one right now actively going? Obviously, some of those guys, Tyrod's still in the NFL, by the way. He was just in town, by the way, with his passing academy last weekend over there at Darling Stadium. Big ups to Tyrod for that. But who is the best one going right now? We would love to hear from you. Certainly, Maricus Banks comes to mind, the Phoebus Triggerman, who's committed to Old Dominion. Marcus Chapman of Hampton's going to be a good one. Kevin Parker from Denby, very good. Lonnie Andrews III of Oscar Smith, mighty fine. He's got a big target there. Throwing to in the Michigan commit in Travis Johnson. He's coming off a state championship for his team. Maury's quarterback graduated. Now, Torrey Newkirk now on to North Carolina. He probably put up the best numbers of the bunch. Who's going to step into that role as the guy for Maury? Damo Everett's supposed to be the guy. Green Red's got a new quarterback that came in from Kellum in Luke Ashcraft. We'll see if he puts up some of the better numbers around. Kempsville just had a quarterback commit to Hampton University in Joshua Hawley. He could be a breakout name this coming year. There's a lot of different quarterbacks. Young quarterback, Malik Haru from Indian River, expected to be a major factor sooner than later. Guy that was there went back to his original school, Cam Kirby from Bayside. He's a dual threat guy who's going to make some plays this year. Just a long list of guys. Can't leave out Tyrell Grant from Nansman River, who's committed to Syracuse. And Kings Fork had a quarterback we showed earlier in the show, DeAndre Artis-Boone, another good athlete. A lot of versatile athletes at the quarterback position. This might be one of the better crops of QBs we've had in Tidewater in the 757 in quite some time because of the, let's call it, I think it's 49 public schools in the area, in the region. There's about probably 10 to 12 I might even say at least, so a good 25% of them that are scholarship level quarterbacks, which is a pretty strong number when you go down the list of quarterbacks that have scholarship offers just from the 757. Mighty good stuff there. So, and that doesn't even touch all the quarterbacks. I know I'm leaving some out. It's a long list of QBs. So we'd love to hear from you out there. Who is the best, the number one guy for this coming year on the gridiron in the 757? Hit the chat box, hit the comment box. Let us know what you think on who it is. How about the quarterback for the Highland Springs Springers? Well, tell me about him, Woody. You're asking. They got a new quarterback because the guy they had last year, Nelson Lane, he ended up going to North Carolina A&T, I believe it was. He was originally committed to one of the service academies. I think he was going to go to Army, and I think he's going to NC A&T now. I believe that's right. I think that's where he's at now. So let us know what you think. Springers are going to be a team that's always on the eye of people around the state of Virginia because they're one of the better teams. Lauren Johnson's one of the best coaches around. And let us know what you think, what they'll look like this year. I haven't laid eyes on them just yet, Woody. But there are some really good quarterbacks outside of the 757 too. But I will tell you this particular crop of quarterbacks, especially in that 2027 group, I put them up against just about any. We've shown it on the ticker earlier, the guys that are committed to colleges from the 2026 group from the list I'm showing. Grant's going to Syracuse, as I mentioned, Hawley to Hampton. You have a quarterback from Battlefield in Callum O'Shea who's committed to Richmond, quarterback from Glenver out in Southwest Virginia, and Brody Doyat, who also plays on defense. He's just a terrific athlete, all-around athlete. He's going to Charlotte to play his college football. And that's just about it in terms of the QBs, the triggermen in the class of 2026, the rising seniors. But the 2027 group is a mighty strong group of triggermen, and it's going to rival, I think, some of the best we've had come out of here. Again, we had a run of quarterbacks in the 90s, the Currys, the Vicks, the Brooks, and then the early 2000s, I mentioned the Manuel, the Boyd, the Taylor. Guys, one guy's still in the NFL. One guy in EJ's working for ACC Network and ESPN. The other guy, Taj Boyd's on the coach staff at Clemson. A lot of good ones that have come out of the area. So it'll be fun to watch over the next year plus. And speaking of quarterbacks that once played at Clemson and Florida State, like Boyd and Manuel from our area, and Taylor, who went to Virginia Tech. We're going to talk some college football coming up. I know my co-host is disappointed. He's probably going to miss this segment coming up because he was looking forward to asking about his Fighting Irish of Notre Dame and so much more. We're going to hit on the Commonwealth with this guy. He has got the insight when it comes to college football. So we'll tackle ODU and UVA, Virginia Tech, Liberty, James Madison. Get his thoughts on some sleepers, some surprises, maybe a Heisman frontrunner. Is it Arch Manning? Is it somebody else? And just the entire picture of college football. He is one of the very best in the business. That is Paul Stone of Paul Stone Sports. I'll tell you how you can check out all of his work, too. It's coming your way after the break here on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. But we have to take a time out, pay some bills, and hear from some of the sponsors that make it possible for us to do this show with you each and every Saturday. So we'll come on back and chat it up about college football. It's getting closer and closer, folks. A month away right here on Cova Sports TV.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there, because here you are more. One Life Fitness.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us. And the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And we welcome you back to 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and interact with us wherever you may be tuning in. We have one of the very best in the business joining us here on the program. You can follow him on the Twitter or the X at Paul Stone Sports. Check out his website too at paulstonesports.org. He is a college football expert and handicapper extraordinaire. Paul, happy summer to you. It's almost one of our favorite times of the year, the start of kickoff for college football. How's life treating you?
You know, I can't complain, Matthew. Glad to be here with you. Feels like it's getting really close. I think we're 5 weeks away from week 0 as we speak here on the 19th of July. So before we know it, college football is going to start. Got a great opening week 0 game there in Dublin, Ireland between Iowa State and Kansas State. Farmageddon. So it's getting close and getting the itch, and really looking forward to another great season of college football.
No doubt about it. Let's start with some of the Virginia teams. I'll probably keep you a segment and a half here if that's okay with you, or two here. Let's start off with the Virginia schools. ACC, Virginia, Virginia Tech is certainly a lot of anxious folks in Blacksburg. Brent Pry, can he get them to get back to where they once were? And Tony Elliott with UVA, they were making some progress, it feels like, and they could still be making some progress. Do either of these two teams have a legit chance to be major factors in the ACC? And what's kind of your temperature of those two schools right now?
Well, you know, the temperature is, I think both these guys, Coach Elliott and Coach Pry, are clearly on the hot seats. You know, they need better results. And I'll start with Virginia. You know, after 5 straight non-winning seasons, UVA faces the 89th toughest schedule in the country this year, according to one publication. And the reason that's important is that's the easiest schedule, according to that publication, among all Power 4 schools. So they have an opportunity to win some games. And talking about Coach Elliott, Tony Elliott, now in his 4th season, the Cavaliers only 11-23 overall and 6-17 in ACC play. But I believe there is some reason for guarded optimism there in Charlottesville this year. This is mostly a veteran team. They should be better on both lines. But what has me most excited about the Cavaliers is the arrival of quarterback Chandler Morris. This is a guy from my home state of Texas that I've watched closely since his high school days. Last year passed for almost 3,800 yards at North Texas. Started his career at Oklahoma and then TCU in a game that really stands out in my mind regarding Virginia's new quarterback, Chandler Morris. Back in 2021, he was a redshirt freshman at TCU. They hosted Baylor. Baylor that season would go on to win the Big 12 championship, held off Oklahoma State in that on that goal line stand, if you remember, in the Big 12 championship game. But Chandler Morris against Baylor, playing for TCU, in that victory by TCU, 30-28, he passed for 461 yards, ran for 70 yards. So that gives you an idea of what Chandler Morris can be at his best. He's the son of former Arkansas and SMU head coach Chad Morris. But I think Chandler Morris gives them a shot. They've got the schedule. Their total is lined at 6.5. You can get the over at plus 130. 7 victories might be a little bit optimistic, but I think Virginia can at least break even in the regular season and make a bowl game this year.
Okay.
And
And
then
how
if
about
you
that?
want me to move right on to Virginia
Yeah.
Tech, or you
What's
want
your
to?
feel of Tech? Yeah, what's your feel of Tech? I mean, I'm with you. I think UVA's got a chance to be improved, but this feels like you said pressure cookie year for both of them, but really especially for Brent Pry because the expectations seem to be a little higher for them than it is for UVA, right?
Yeah, going into last year, and we probably talked about it. I was really somewhat high on Virginia Tech. I thought they would make some noise in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Kyron Drones, their quarterback, he was banged up all year. Some other things didn't fall into place. It just didn't come to fruition. And so now, we look at fourth-year head coach Brent Pry, firmly on the hot seat as well. Not all of this record has occurred on Pry's watch, but it's difficult for me to fathom that over the last 5 seasons, the Hokies, 27-34 overall. That's just not the Virginia Tech that I grew up with. Again, I thought they would be better last year. They went 6-7, and now they've lost some key pieces. I mean, Biehl Tootin, he was a big-time running back, rushed for over 1,100 yards last year. They've also on defense lost 8 of their top 10 tacklers. The Hokies, without question, they were a net loser in the transfer portal. They lost, again, some big-time players, lost Delane, their cornerback, to LSU, and several others. They do have Drones coming back. I think when healthy, I think he's a capable quarterback. He started 20 games there at Virginia Tech. And not only is he a capable quarterback, if he's healthy, that dual threat aspect, the running component that he brings to the game, we saw that in 2023 when he rushed for over 800 yards. So he can run the football. Maybe the Gobblers can come through this year when they're flying a little bit under the radar, but I'm not counting on it. I'm not banking on it. I think it's going to be, another probably 500 or sub 500 year for the Hokies.
Not what the faithful in Blacksburg want to hear, but they have an intriguing opener against South Carolina, the SEC, Paul, there in Atlanta. And speaking of South Carolina, last year they took on Old Dominion in the opener, and it was a tough game. Ricky Ronnie's Monarchs nearly pulled off the upset. That was a team last year. I know you kept a close eye on them, and we spoke with Coach Ronnie on our show here last month. They had 9 games, I think, decided by 8 points or less. They bring back their quarterback in Colton Joseph, and he likes his overall depth. Can the Monarchs go from a team nobody really loved last year in the preseason to maybe being a surprise in the Sun Belt?
Yeah, I tell you, Old Dominion's a team. I think they've had 7 straight losing seasons, but might this be the season that the Monarchs break that drought and make a little noise? And I believe ODU has some reasons for optimism as well. And you touched on one of the main reasons. They've got a big-time physical 6'2", 220-pound quarterback in Colton Joseph. Last year in his first season as a starter, he passed for over 1,600 yards, ran for another 647. So this guy's a true dual threat quarterback. Other than Joseph, secondly, I have reason for optimism for the Monarchs because the Sun Belt is a wide open league. A lot of these teams are net losers in the transfer portal just by the nature of the pecking order in college football. The rich get richer and the so-called poor get poorer. So these teams get picked at a little bit. So I think it makes things a little more competitive. To me, this league appears ripe, for someone beside the usual suspects to perhaps make a run for the conference title. So I think it's a little bit open. And you look at, thirdly, the Monarchs in Sun Belt play the last couple of years, man, they have really been competitive. They're 9-7 in conference play over these last 2. So they've been close. From a handicapping perspective, I want to share this nugget. Ricky Ronnie, as a betting underdog the last 2 years there in Norfolk, when his team is cast in that role as an underdog, 11-4-1 against the spread as the betting underdog. You're going to have several opportunities in September, perhaps if you wish, to back ODU as a betting underdog. They open the season, of course, at Indiana. Then they go to Virginia Tech, I believe, in week 3, and they host Liberty on September 27th. That game could be picked. They could even be favored, but likely an underdog to the Flames there. So they might be an underdog 3 times in the month of September.
Those are the nuggets you only get from the one and only Paul Stone. Check him out, paulstonesports.org. Subscribe, check out all his work today, and follow him on the X, the Twitter, at Paul Stone Sports. And before we take a break, we want to get to Liberty and JMU as well. But one of our viewers that had the comment that was on the screen a moment ago about NIL's wrecked VT, the NIL and the transfer portal has made things more difficult for some of the smaller schools outside your Power 4 or Power 5, the group of fives, if you will, like the Old Dominions, the JMUs, the Liberties. Let's go to James Madison because they've had coaching turnover, Paul, and yet they keep winning. We just saw a few years back, Mike Houston led them to a national championship, 1AA. He's no longer as an FBS head coach. He's as a defensive analyst and assistant now with Clemson. Kurt Signetti goes to Indiana, and the Dukes still are just humming there in Harrisonburg, and it's a program that's the in-state rival of Old Dominion, and fair to say they're the favorite again in the Sun Belt?
They are. They're. I was looking at the odds in preparation for speaking to you today. James Madison is the favorite in the Sun Belt, but they have pretty favorable odds for the favorite. Found them at plus 340 to win the league there at DraftKings. And I think, again, that's a really good price. First of all, JMU, they play in the Sun Belt's Eastern Division, and they play all three of their chief competitors in that division, Georgia Southern, Old Dominion, and Appalachian State. They get all three of those teams there in Harrisonburg. So they play all three of those teams on their home field. One note, and I know you guys have probably talked about it, but last year's starting quarterback, Alonzo Barnett Jr., he suffered a knee injury, a pretty serious knee injury in last year's regular season finale, was a very limited participant in spring practice. So it's kind of iffy whether he'll be 100% at the start of the year. I will add, though, that they picked up Matthew Sluka. He's a guy who started 3 games last year at UNLV, got upset, apparently had a spat over his NIL payment, and he left Vegas and didn't play the rest of the year. But he played for Bob Chesney, the current coach there at James Madison, when both were at FCS Holy Cross. Sluka's a dual threat guy, and if Barnett can't go, Sluka is certainly a capable replacement there. And they additionally at the quarterback position picked up Camden Coleman from there in Richmond, FCS Richmond, the Spiders. So they'll be fine under center. And I think at plus 340, I think James Madison, based on that winning tradition, I think they're a good price and a good bet at that price.
And JMU, one of the teams in the Sun Belt that's made some noise since they made that transition from the FCS to FBS. Paul, a team that's also made a lot of noise, Liberty Flames out of Lynchburg. Now, they've had coaching turnover, they've had quarterback turnover, but they've had some really good triggermen. You think of Malik Willis, who made the NFL as a first-round pick, Caden Salter, who went in the portal, and now they get one from the portal out of Coastal Carolina, out of the Sun Belt, and Ethan Vasco. He's from our neck of the woods in Chesapeake, Virginia, and Oscar Smith High School. What's the outlook for Liberty with Vasco, and can they again be a team that we're talking about as one of those crash the party for the playoff teams because they've been a double-digit win team here lately?
Yeah, and a lot of it's a function of their schedule. I mean, it's no secret Liberty's played, I think the last 2 years, some publications have had them playing the easiest schedule in the entire FBS. This year I saw their schedule preseason ranked 131st out of 136 FBS teams. So playing in Conference USA and not playing a vigorous non-conference schedule, they have opportunities for victories. Interestingly, Liberty has been favored in every single game in the regular season the past 2 years, and it could set up like that again this year. The games that they might not be favored in are going to be those September games against Sun Belt members and in-state rivals, James Madison and Old Dominion. Could go either way there. But like you mentioned, Liberty, they do lose their quarterback, Caden Salter, to Colorado. You also mentioned they pick up Ethan Vasco, who played at Coastal Carolina and started there. But I do see some drop-off going from Salter to Vasco. Salter's a big-time dual threat guy, in my opinion. And then another loss that cannot be underestimated is the loss of running back Quentin Cooley, who is now playing for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers of the Canadian Football League. But Cooley, man, he was ultra productive the last couple of seasons there for the Flames, rushed for 2,655 yards, 29 touchdowns. I imagine they'll, attempt to replace that by committee, but those yards will not be easily replaced. I would probably just based on their recent play, their domination or, being the best team overall in Conference USA for the most part the last 2 years, even though they didn't play in the conference title game last year. You can find them in over 9.5 plus 110 at DraftKings. I'd probably play them in over 9.5. Again, they might be favored in all 12 games, so I think they at least get to 10 victories.
Great insight from Paul. So before we take a break here and get some more national type topics for you here, Paul, and Liberty has that soft schedule, which can also help them and hurt them in terms of the eye of, say, a committee and as far as the big picture goes with rankings. I know you're really shrewd at this. Give me like a potential upset alert game, be it a point spread that's a little too high for you with a big boy and a not so big boy, or maybe something that you see in terms of a win total that you like that's outside the box that people could say, maybe take a close look at that. I know you've been keeping a real deep study on it. Give me maybe an upset special early because people love those upsets in college sports, with the NCAA basketball tournament and also with college football too.
Yeah, looking at week one, it's not a marquee game, Matthew, but I see the Toledo Rockets going to Lexington to play the Kentucky Wildcats of the SEC. Kentucky currently a 10 or a 10.5 point favorite. And I think Kentucky is going to have its challenges. Their coach, Mark Stoops, has made it clear. And it's obvious that Kentucky doesn't have the same type of NIL treasure chest, if you will, as some of the teams they're competing against. I think it's going to show this year. Some people even picking Kentucky to finish at the very bottom of the SEC behind even Mississippi State on some people's ballots. So I think Toledo getting 10 or maybe even 10.5 points, that's kind of an upset special that I would point to. And then the regular season win total, I was at Big 12 Media Days last week and heard Mike Gundy take the podium. The Cowboys have really been negatively impacted as well by the new era of college football, NIL, and the transfer portal. But Oklahoma State's regular season win total after winning just 3 games last year at 5.5. I don't see Oklahoma State winning, 5 games. I don't even think they're going to win 4. I think they might be in contention for another 3-9 showing. So I really like Oklahoma State to go under 5.5 wins. I don't think they're going to get to the break-even point on the regular season.
Wow, how about that? Yeah, things have not been what they once were in Stillwater for Mike Gundy and the Pokes, the Cowboys of Okie State. We've got more coming with Paul Stone, the college football expert and handicapper extraordinaire. We'll get his thoughts on, Ed has to make me ask him about Notre Dame. He'd love to do it in person here. We've got some comments from folks about Big Ten, SEC favorites, maybe a sleeper or two. It's all coming your way with Paul Stone here on 757 Sports Talk. Keep it tuned. You're watching Cova Sports TV.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk.
Usually it's Hatfield. That's why I try to tell everybody, get on Hatfield. He is the legal scribe, the talking head that knows all this, puts the whammies on. We do things different on this podcast. That's why we're rated number 3 in the state.
You got Play-Doh? Get out of here! We got people all over the globe watching with us. Sitting in a phone booth with you would be very...
we got to have your own phone booth. I'm not sitting in no phone booth with you.
It is 757 Saturday Sports Talk here on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here is Matt Hatfield.
And we thank Paul Stone for being so gracious to give us another segment of his time here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and interact with us wherever you are tuning in through our social media platforms and also watching on the television side with Cox Communications in your view now as well. Paul, I have to get to it. One of our comments wants to know about Ohio State, the Buckeyes, the Ohio State. They inexplicably lost to Michigan at home to end the year and somehow went on this magical run to win the national championship. Ryan Day got off the hot seat. Is Ohio State favored this year? Woody Wagner wants to know. I know some say it's possibly going to be Texas as the team to beat to win it all. Some say Georgia. Some say Penn State. If you got a couple of teams that you look at in terms of the odds you like most, who are they? What do you think about the overall big picture to win the whole thing?
You know, if I was just given one team, first of all, I do power ratings, and my power ratings, and I'm certainly well aware of James Franklin, his history and inability to win the big games, to defeat Ohio State and Michigan. Sure. But Penn State, rather, is my top power-rated team in all of college football. I mean, they got that 1-2 running back punch of Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen, have a veteran quarterback in Drew Aller, who's kind of a polarizing figure. I think he protects the football, though. I like Drew Aller. They'll have another outstanding defense. They always do there in State College. So they're my number one power-rated team. But if I was going to pick one team to win the national championship, and they're one of the favorites at plus 550, but it would be the Texas Longhorns. Texas is the only school in all of college football to make the playoff the last 2 years. Steve Sarkisian has stacked 4 straight top 3 recruiting classes. That's now coming full circle, coming to fruition. They really don't have any big weaknesses. They do have to replace a couple of offensive linemen, do need to identify some defensive tackles. But I think they've got arguably the top defense in the nation, if not Texas. You know, Clemson will be right there, certainly Alabama as well. Penn State not far behind. But Texas got defensive end Colin Simmons, got linebacker Anthony Hill. I don't know if anybody's got 2 players quite like that in the front 7. You know, we'll hear a lot of talk, and he's great. You cannot underestimate how generational Ohio State wide receiver Jeremiah Smith is. But Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State, defensive end from South Carolina, another true freshman last year, Dylan Stewart, both big-time years last year as true freshmen. But the true freshman of the year, the winner of the Sean Alexander Award, was Colin Simmons, the Texas defensive end. He's a huge player, big-time guy, as in Anthony Hill. So Texas got a great defense. A lot of talk about Arch Manning, obviously. He's had a very careful grooming to this point. It's been very deliberate. He is ready. I mean, the guy's going to be a player from day one. We've seen signs of it. If you've watched Texas games, he can not only throw the football, he's a runner. He's not like his uncles. He can take off and not only outrun people, but he can physical people. So Arch Manning's going to be all right there. So if I was given one team, it would be Texas to win the national championship.
No, I like it. You're I think, spot on here, Paul. Well, while you brought up Arch Manning, it makes me look at some of these Heisman odds boards. And Arch is one of those favorite plays. How about you? Do you have would you be a guy that's looking more to invest towards him or somewhere else for it? It's a guy that's you're getting better value potentially down the board, better odds. What's your view? I know Heisman is always a tricky thing to project, but what's your opinion on that?
I'll tell you, as much as I like Arch Manning, I think the most physically gifted quarterback in college football, and he's got to get his finesse, his short route and his intermediate passes down. But he's a great deep thrower already. Again, the most physically gifted quarterback in all of college football. Got to stay healthy. But DJ Lagway of Florida, I mean, this guy is just an Adonis. He's a physical specimen. He's got an unbelievable arm. If he stays healthy, I think people are going to know what DJ Lagway is all about by the end of the year. You can find him at plus 2,300 to win the Heisman there at Circa. So 23-1. So he would be my recommendation, not only based on his talent, but based on that attractive price as well.
Good deal. Now, how about Clemson? They're playing in the ACC, which is not viewed on the same level as the Big Ten or SEC for obvious reasons. They have a great opener out of the gate against LSU, who's one of those teams. And I know Dabo Swinney made headlines with his Brian Kelly story that he talked about with the press here recently. But Cade Klubnik is back at quarterback. They have a new guy running the defense in Tom Allen. And running back's a little bit of a question mark for them in the sense Paul, that they might have a true freshman getting the reps in Gideon Davidson, who's from our state, went to Liberty Christian Academy in Lynchburg, Virginia. Clemson's coming from the ACC. A lot of people are looking at putting them in maybe some parlays because they figure to be the definite team to win the ACC and one of those Final Four type teams with maybe a Penn State, a Texas, a Georgia, fill in the blank there. What's your view of Clemson big picture? Are they ready to get back on the big stage and deliver?
Well, I'll tell you, just talking about Clemson gets me excited about that LSU-Clemson opener at one of the Death Valleys, Clemson, South Carolina. But I'm very bullish on Clemson. I mean, Cade Klubnik, a guy from my home state of Texas, went to Austin Westlake, in the shadow of the University of Texas. His first 2.5 years, to about midway through last season, he really didn't seem like he had quite flashed that 5-star pedigree he had coming out of high school. But man, the last half of 2024, he was one of the very best quarterbacks in all of college football. I saw him against Texas in the college football playoff. And, the Tigers went toe-to-toe for most of that game, ended up getting beat by 13, I think. But they were competitive with the Longhorns. They've got most everybody back. You did mention the fact that Gideon Davidson, the true freshman out of the state of Virginia, might be the starting running back right out of the gate. Davidson, as you know, rushed for over 7,000 yards during a storied high school career there in Virginia. So they'll probably be A-OK at that running back position. But defensively, I mean, you look at those guys, man. Peter Woods at defensive tackle, a big-time player. Got big-time players at the edge, big-time player at linebacker in Sammy Brown. So Clemson, although they're an ACC team, they've got SEC-type talent. So I think Clemson's a team that could absolutely challenge. Not only are they the odds-on favorite to win the ACC, but could challenge for the national title.
Yeah, I'm a little bit bullish on them too. I'm in that same realm. I sometimes love them. Sometimes I say, oh, they're disappointing. They're hard to get a read on. Hey, Paul, if you're not into Clemson LSU on August 30th, something's wrong with you. How about August 31st? Notre Dame, Miami. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up Notre Dame, the favorite school of my cohort who had an emergency to tend to. Notre Dame coming off a national championship game appearance under Marcus Freeman. They have effectively shook off all the cobwebs from those disappointing losses, which go back to certainly Northern Illinois and Marshall. But that defense was mighty, mighty strong. Can it be that good again to put them in the playoff talk for, semifinals title game again? And what's your thought of that matchup with Miami on August 31st, that final Sunday?
Yeah, starting with that game, Notre Dame currently a 3-point favorite. They're in Coral Gables over the Hurricanes. It's going to be the debut of Miami's quarterback who came to them from Georgia out of the transfer portal, Carson Beck. The Hurricanes supposedly paying him a whole lot of money, millions and millions of dollars, to be their quarterback. He was injured against Texas in the SEC championship game, but apparently now fully recovered. I have my questions about Carson Beck, first of all, Miami's new quarterback. He was really good in 2023, not so good in 2024. And the difference in 2024 was that he didn't have Brock Bowers at tight end and he didn't have Ladd McConkey at wide receiver. And I think he'll have a pretty good core of receivers there at Miami. But you kind of have to show me if you're Carson Beck at that quarterback position. I think Notre Dame's going to go in there and probably get the victory. I don't say it with great conviction because they're starting, obviously, of all the strengths that this Notre Dame team has. And I want to point this out before it slips my mind. They're at minus 165 to make the playoffs. So if you bet the yes to make the playoff at Circa Sportsbook, you lay 165 to win 100. And I think Notre Dame is a very good bet to make the 12-team playoff again this year. They've got one of the top running back tandems in all of college football with Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. Those guys rushed for a total of almost 1,800 yards last year. Got a talented veteran offensive line, and they've got a very underrated receiving core led by Jaden Greathouse, one of the top defenses in all of college football. Don't really have any Achilles heel. Obviously, the big question mark is at the quarterback position. Riley Leonard, after coming over from Duke, only played one season, as did his predecessor, Sam Hartman. And now they get a homegrown guy, quote unquote, in CJ Carr. He's a redshirt freshman, only appeared in one game last year, did not throw a pass, So he's very, very green at this point, but he's a five-star recruit rather, comes with a big-time reputation. The grandson of former Michigan coach Lloyd Carr. If Carr can come through and he is blessed with a great supporting cast, then Notre Dame, again, is going to be one of the better teams in all of college football. I think they make the playoff, and if I had to make a pick, I would take them to beat Miami by more than a field goal in that opening game on Sunday night, the day before Labor Day.
Our final few minutes with Paul Stone, the college football expert and handicapper extraordinaire. Check out paulstonesports.org. We'll get him to give you a chance to tell you what's up there and what you can see when you subscribe. Before we let him run, I want to squeeze in one more social question from one of our followers on the X, the Twitter, Rodney, and then two from me here. Let me get that one from Rodney. He was a Bears fan of Baylor because he says, go Baylor at the end. He wants to know what Paul thinks about the Big 12 this year. Do you like his team's chances to win the Big 12? Baylor could be a sleeper there.
I do. Baylor's one of the teams I like. And, last year in the Big 12, you had four teams in the regular season in first place at 7-2. So four teams at 7-2, three other teams at 6-3. So you had seven teams within one game of one another. And I think it's going to have that kind of balance this year. Might not end up quite like that because that's pretty extraordinary. But I think seven teams could win the Big 12, and Baylor's one of those teams. The other teams being Iowa State, Kansas State, Utah would be one. I think TCU has a possibility. Texas Tech is a team that could win that league as well, Iowa State. So going to be another wide open league there in the Big 12. But this Baylor team, man, this is a great offensive team. Last year they rallied down the stretch. I think they won their final – I don't know if it's their final six regular season games, but I think that's right. And their quarterback, Sawyer Robertson, engineered an attack that if you count those last six regular season games in the bowl loss to LSU, they averaged just a smidge under 40 points a game. They not only returned Robertson, but their top running back in Bryson Washington, their top wide receiver in Josh Cameron, a lot of guys back for Baylor. Man, what an opener on that Friday night. They're going to be hosting Auburn at McLean Stadium Friday, August 29th, one of my favorite games of that deep card for week one. But I expect Baylor to challenge for the Big 12 title, and they might kind of be one of the surprises this year in all of college football.
Yeah, the roller coaster, topsy-turvy Big 12 that it is every week. It could be some high-scoring games and some edgier seat games. I know you love that living in Big 12 country, even though Texas is now in the SEC. Anyways, Paul, surprises, dark horses, sleepers. You touched on earlier that Toledo-Kentucky game intriguing you there. Is there somebody, be it in a Power 4 conference or even outside it, that you would say, all right, keep an eye on them because they could be better than the pundits think?
These teams, this is, I hate to say it's low-hanging fruit. I know people like the real long shots, and I know people are suffering from SEC fatigue, and especially talking to people in ACC country. There's no known cure or treatment for SEC fatigue, by the way. And I hate to be heavy on that conference, the Southeastern Conference, but I think LSU is going to, and I'm not, again, the only one saying this. This is not a great revelation, but I've got LSU number 5 in my power ratings. They were the overall winners, in my opinion, in the transfer portal. Shored up both sides of the ball, but especially on defense. Added edge rusher Patrick Payton from Florida State. Jack Pyburn, defensive end from Florida, got better in the defensive backfield. Delane from Virginia Tech, a cornerback, comes over to LSU. So I really like LSU. Like them at plus 130 to make the playoff there at Circa. And then a couple of dark horses from the SEC as well, just happen to be from that conference. Texas A&M, they're kind of a perennial underachiever, but they've got second-year starting quarterback Marcel Reed coming back. Got a great running back room led by Le'Veon Moss. Mike Elko's second year. I think Texas A&M could make some noise and perhaps sneak in the playoff. And then I've already mentioned this team, mentioned DJ Lagway at 23-1 as a possibility to win the Heisman Trophy. I really like the Gators. Closed the year with 4 straight victories last year. Looked like Billy Napier was on the way out, but Lagway comes back from injury. They win those final 4. I think they're a team that enters the year. They do play a difficult schedule, but they enter the year with a lot of momentum, a healthy DJ Lagway. I think Florida could perhaps crash the party and make the playoff as well.
Yeah, watch out for the Gators. A lot of chomp there, momentum from their basketball championship, and the football finished up on a high note last year. Paul, thank you so much for the time. You were outstanding today. Before we let you run here, tell the folks what they can find on your website and on your social channels, because there's a lot of college football fans. They are starving. They got that appetite for college football right now in July, ready for it to come in August.
Yeah, first of all, I would ask people to consider following me on Twitter. My handle is @PaulStoneSports. I'm not going to post pictures of what I ate for lunch or pictures with sunglasses and a bunch of money on a bedspread or something. I'm going to be posting relevant information, unique information, I think, in my tweets. I try to share some of the research that I do and opinions and so forth. So hopefully folks will consider that. And also if they want to look at the products that I offer, I've been doing this for over 30 years, two-time winner of major contests in Las Vegas, finished in the top 4 in 2 other contests. My website, paulstonesports.org.
He is one of the very best in the business, Paul Stone. Thank you so much for the time today. Enjoy the rest of your summer, and I'm sure we'll get you back on here as the football games get rolling in late August, early September when my cohort is back with us. Thank you so much, and we'll talk down the road.
Okay, Matthew, thanks for having me, and everybody have a great summer.
You bet. That is Paul Stone with us here on 757 Sports Talk. We've got a little bit more time left before we bid adieu on this particular Saturday in July. Keep it tuned to your home for sports, whether it's prep, local, statewide, pro, college. We got it all for you. High school, too. It is 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
Cova Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit covapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Now, for a limited time on the $7 Meal Deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
What does happiness mean to you?
Being in the ocean with you, watching you catch super fun waves.
In Virginia Beach, happiness is breaking barriers and savoring the sunshine.
I couldn't pick a better place or a better person to be with. This is what makes me happy.
Happiness is going all out.
And taking it all in.
Here, happiness is whatever you make it. Find yours in Virginia Beach.
I grew up here. I know this town. I know the people here. More important, they know me. As a banker at Town Bank, we become part of the communities we serve. The people who bank with us, our members, know us. When you bank with Town Bank, you'll know your banker. You'll know you can reach us, and you'll know we're here for you.
James Catato tells us tonight there's a new team making new noise in the USL2 scene on the other side of the water.
Something special is brewing inside the walls of the Virginia Beach Sportsplex.
We're not here for moral victories. When we're on our day, we're a legit team.
See the stars of the future in pre-professional action at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. This combined season ticket special is for men's and women's. That's 15 games for just $100 for adults and $80 for youth. VBU has a brand new women's team that competes in the W League. Soccer fans, it's time to rally behind Virginia Beach United. Tickets are on sale now. Visit vbunited.com. Don't miss out on Virginia Beach United.
What do we have here? Another pooch. This guy's name is Snuggles, and he wants to ride like the wind. Da-da-da-da. Bop, 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 bop. Get you through the dog days of summer. Let's go back to 757 Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young on Cova Sports TV. Ride like the wind, baby.
And we're back here on 757 Sports Talk. Matt Hatfield here with you. Thank you all for tuning in. And our special guest today, Mike Biehl, head football coach of the Tallwood Lions. I'm sorry, Mike Biehl of the Tallwood Lions. Glenwood Fairview's head football coach of the Tallwood Lions. Take two. There's a blooper. We had Glenwood Fairview on last week. We had Mike Biehl, head football coach of the Grassfield Grizzlies today. And we also had Paul Stone, college football handicapper extraordinaire. Hey, at least I can laugh at myself if I make a blooper, right? We thank you all for interacting with us as well before we sign off. And we do thank Jack for chiming in. Paul is the absolute best. I'm sure we'll get Paul back on as well. A couple of things we did not touch on. We didn't get to ask Coach Young today. Coach has had a little bit of I don't want to scare people with a medical emergency, but something that popped up that he had to tend to. So we will get him back on next week. He is okay, folks that are wondering. I've gotten some texts and messages through the IG. Our man Kel.2027 asking where he was. He is okay, and I know he has to be okay to make sure he doesn't miss that wrestling show tonight because he does not want to miss that with VCW. We had George Pantis on the show last week. Paul does know his stuff, Woody. Absolutely. He is spot on. Very, very sharp, and we thank him for giving us the time today. Want to give a shout-out. Thanks to our man Mark Ragsdale, their Sports Talk with Rags. Shout-out David Wright having his jersey retired by the Mets today. You know, David, this is really one of his great in the sun moments because he got in the Tidewater Baseball Shrine a few years ago, and that was neat. He was very open and honest with the media. I got a chance to speak with him there. He's a 7-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glove winner, and the injuries at the end prevented him from really having the numbers to be a Cooperstown candidate. So this is really his last moment for the Mets to celebrate him. Just an overall good guy. You know, born in Norfolk, goes to Hickory High School in Chesapeake. He was committed to Georgia Tech. I mean, just had a wonderful career, did it the right way, 296, 242 homers, and he's beloved by Mets fans, baseball people, and especially those in 757 and Tidewater. So this is a great day for him, and I know that some are actually so looking forward to having that see that ceremony today, a jersey retirement, and go up there with some greats when you think of even guys that aren't Cooperstown guys, like a John Franco, who's a beloved Mets reliever. The way he did it, he came up with that youth movement that they had in the early to mid 2000s around, was it 04, 05? Him and Jose Reyes. That was the left side of the infield. Reyes at short, right at third. And though it didn't translate into a championship, they did some special things, some great things. And Matt is going through a table tonight. No, and it is good for David. Absolutely is, and we're just delighted for him. So congratulations. It's well deserved this moment for him. And team Hall of Fames. Some, I wouldn't say they don't front it at all. They don't look at them in the same way. But there's that special connection and bond that you have with that fan base, and that Met fan base. They love him to the core more than even. And this will come off like I'm criticizing him, not than a newbie like a Soto or maybe even a Lindor to an extent. The amount of years of service and the way he progressed through the system, playing for the Norfolk Tides and up, that's what made him such a beloved figure for Mets fans. That is right, Derek. Tonight is the night wrestle. So let's hope Ed is okay enough. If what he has going on right now is going on in X amount of hours, you may not see him at the show. And I know that would just absolutely ruin his weekend and, dare I say, summer. But let's hope everything is okay with that. If you missed any of today's program, It'll be available on Cova Sports TV on YouTube. I know we were having some, from what I got, feedback from folks. They couldn't comment at first. I think we've now got that rectified for some unknown reason. So as always, if you see something later on the show, comment on it, chime in on it. You'll be able to interact with us and let us know what you liked, what you want to see more of, and what you want to hear from. And yes, Woody, that is absolutely the best. Willie Gauze, hilarious. And he said he loves the steak dinner conversation. We're going to make sure Ed's trying to weasel his way out of buying Willie Gauze a steak. That is not going to happen, folks. The former Kickintan basketball coach who took the job at Phoebus. And now Kickintan's got an opening. I think just 2 vacancies left on the high school basketball side of things with Kickintan and with Smithfield. And we're getting more of the new football coaches on the program. We'll have some sound and give you a chance to hear from some of the athletes and coaches participating in the upcoming Lancetown football team camp later on this summer, some scrimmages too. So we're going to hit it hot and heavy, as they say, with high school football getting closer and closer and closer, just like the college football that Paul Stone talked about, and then the NFL in the league where they play for pay. We'll go over our over-unders in the weeks to come as well. We'll do our over-unders, and we'll get you an update on the baseball over-unders, which I think Ed might be in a little bit better shape than I am right now for this particular year. But, again, we'll go through that later on when we have time for that. And, oh, look, it's nice that he can comment on the Facebook, but he darn sure can't do it on the show. What's going on? You'll be there tonight. Well, if you have going on what you have going on right now, I don't know that you want to be there. Anyhow, we'll leave that for full disclosure. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll do it again next time right here on 757 Sports Talk, Cova Sports TV. Again, make sure you watch it on your television Mondays, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. That's right. We are on the big screen, Fredericksburg, Roanoke, Northern Virginia, and Hampton Roads. Check your local listings and program us and let us know what you think. Talk to you next week on the final Saturday of July 2025. It's hard to believe July has almost expired. So that's more time, though. You know where I'm going, jumping in that pool. See you later, everyone. Have a great weekend, great sports weekend. We'll talk to you next time on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV.